we go.
Good afternoon, friends and neighbors, and welcome to the second weekly installment of Cabin Fever Sessions' Full Gospel Hour of Power. I'll be your host this afternoon. I'm Reverend Rod Miller, pastor of the Reformed Conservative Presbyterian Indoor Shooting Range and Tabernacle of Snake Handling out on Remount Road. And we have a great lineup of musical talent for you this afternoon, including Willie Carlisle, Scott Shoulders, and Nick Shoulders, and Esther Rose. Let me start out by saying what we're about this afternoon is try and support with our financial means the artists and singers and songwriters who, for obvious reasons, can't sing in the bars and the bistros. So we're bringing them to you through the miracle of the interwebs. I'm here with Mike Venata, the producer, Ruben Buchanan, our engineer, and with no further ado, yes, with a little bit of further ado, we're going to come to a part in the program where we're going to pass the collection plate. And the lesson this afternoon is from the book of Visa, chapter 20. So when the time comes, I'd like you to all open up to that chapter and follow along with me and support these fine musicians. I believe our first act that's up is going to be Nick Shoulders. Nick, are you ready?
As I'll ever be, Rod.
All right. You got 8 seconds to pull this off. So
have at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Shoulders.
Good afternoon, good night, digital realm. I figure I'll start one off that Mike and Ruben recorded at the Tigerman Den. I guess whenever that was like 2 months ago or something, when the world was kind of less on fire. So here we go. Well, my eyes adjust, my joints are rusty, sheets are rough and cold and dusty. Road books and must have been another night of men. Kick rock, slap tongues, boo on levy, walk, couches, but kingdom and nights where there's bugs in my head. 6 sats empty penny, saved a penny, spent sleep at the wheel, she beats me and awake in my bed. Last call to feel small and dread sign of alcohol and the with this strange stuff that I want on. Been rather low out here together. Reckon that we'll keep trying if our bottom it never shows. Get on the low, there's a storm to weather. I ain't welcome at home, I don't know about it. Double takes and double stops, a double dare you call the cops. I'll die where I stand if I hear wagon wheel again. 40 days of foggy nights withered by the city lights. I don't remember existential crisis being part of the deal. Told you once, I told you twice, steeped in verse and cursed device. I traded my 40 acres for a mountain of pain. Hot damn ham scan blinded in the promised land. Don't mind if I do, you player, we're as good as dead. Been rather low out here together. Oh, I reckon that we'll keep trying if our bottom end never shows. Get on low, there's a storm to weather. I ain't welcome at home, I don't know about. I'm not alone, can't tell, but there's a puppy dog down here trying to beg for dinner. I'm supposed to do 3, I think, so I might as well just keep rocking and rolling, playing the hits of yesteryear and total flops of today. Like Scott, Rod said, my name's Nick Shoulders. No one ever forgets the last part. It is my last name. We can start comparing IDs if we want, but ideas are better. But I'm on a mountaintop in Newton County, Arkansas, which is funny because a lot of us don't expect to be on mountaintops in Newton County, Arkansas for really no reason, all except a novel coronavirus. I think I might be battling a more benign, normal-ass coronavirus and not the one that's doing the bad things, or allergies. It's really bad for allergies up here. Every oak up here is just trying to ruin my life. But I'll keep cranking out the hits. Let's do one called Lonely Like Me. Oh, I tossed and I turned. I want the good floor too. I looked out every window. I dreaded seeing you. I felt the pace of my patience. Oh, wither and blue. And my heart started aching in my chest like a newfound wound. I hope someday that you're lonely. Oh, lonely like me. I hope someday that you fill up with all the ghosts that you never saw in me. My heart could hold you. I only wish that you'd let me. Someday I hope that you're lonely, lonely like me. Oh, my mind it unraveled. My spine turned to clay. Every second of distance seemed a lifetime to me. For the cold night to blame you. I only wish that I could have made myself sing. And I dread that moment when your echo finally fades away. I hope someday that you're lonely. Oh, lonely like me. I hope someday that you fill up with all the ghosts that you never saw in me. My heart, I couldn't hold you. I only wish that you'd have let them be. Someday I hope that you're lonely, lonely like me. Someday I hope that you're lonely, lonely like me. Woo pig. Well, I might have given away. I'm wearing gym shorts, no dress shirt. There's a dress shirt on and like a nicer jacket, but I'm wearing gym shorts. This is a casual affair. Highly informal performance. The higher we get, the more informal we are. Well, I don't want to take everyone else's time up too badly, so I'm going to keep cranking through them. But I'm really stoked to have Esther and Willie here. It's kind of two poles of my my timeline coming together on one live stream. So what do you know? What a pandemic and the World Wide Web will bring you. But pretty cool. Let's keep doing them. How's about let's do a newer one that we just did a Tiny Desk concert submission for. I submit to no one. Some days are long. Some nights never end. I mourn the fleeting seconds flight. I pray to the coming wind. And time like snow never stood around for me. I loved every sky I've ever seen. I know I'll never grow to a century. So if your love from the years that didn't stay, if you trace that shadow's passing, if you fear each breaking day, if you worry about worry won't let you be. If the devil calls, I hope that you see somehow to never grow to a century. I think that's my 3, right? Right? Let's see.
Can you
host Rod, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me, Nick?
Willie's there.
I'm here. That was lovely, man.
Willie, what's up?
Nick, come back.
Hey, there you are.
I'm here.
Hey,
that
was refreshingly old school. I like that a lot.
Well, I appreciate you saying so. I kind of missed the middle part of listening to this kind of music where you hear the stuff from the 70s, and I just heard the grandpa music, so I just went right back, you know?
Yeah, I totally hear that. That's like what you're hearing in country jukeboxes in the 50s, before Nashville discovered strings and horns and crap like that.
Don't forget the Jordanaires.
Hey, this is the Q&A part, so you gotta sit there like a man and answer some questions, all right? Some of them I think are coming in from the audience, and I'll shoot those to you as we get them. But I've got your one sheet from your publicist, and if I can quote from it, your publicist says you put the try in country music.
Are you gonna own up to that?
Say it one more time.
You put the try in country music.
I'm trying to, yeah.
And here's one coming in from our audience. A young lady in Glendale, Arizona, says, "Ask Nick how old he was when he asked Slim Whitman into his heart."
So incorporated Slim Whitman is into my heart. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. When did you first meet Slim Whitman?
When I was a kid, I got really into this movie, Mars Attacks. Has anyone seen Mars Attacks? I think maybe y'all have seen Mars Attacks. But in the movie Mars Attacks, the stereo gets unplugged at one point when the granny's about to get shot with a laser, and Slim Whitman comes out of the stereo, and it kills the Martians, makes their heads explode. And when I was a kid, I had a tape recorder, and I would record my favorite like theme songs for movies. Some were from Critters, if anyone's ever seen that gem of a mid-'80s horror movie. And a couple more were like, stuff like Slim Whitman on Mars Attacks. So I think my earliest Slim Whitman experience would have been through that movie. And when I got to stealing music off the internet as a teenager, that's some of the first stuff I found was Hank Williams and Slim Whitman because of Mars Attacks. So I'd say I was probably, maybe 9 years old when I first started listening to Slim Whitman.
And you adopted yodeling as a style because early in life you realized that it can explode monsters' heads.
That and I was a bored enough kid on enough property that my friends and I kind of had like a communication system, and that kind of whooping across the woods, I figured out I could make my voice do that weird like how thing, like that break. And so I kind of stumbled into country music from two angles. One of it was literally from it bouncing off of the country, like dirt and rocks and stuff, and the other was from stuff like Mars Attacks. Yeah.
Oh, cool. What is your songwriting? I'm assuming that all three of you guys are going to present original material to us this afternoon. You're doing all songs that you wrote individually. What's your songwriting process?
The three you just heard were all originals. I'd say my songwriting process is kind of like I get a melody that I'm screwing around with stuck in my head, and then I make gibberish up to it, and then I figure out if the chords fit or what key to play it in. And then once the gibberish and the melody are done, then I just kind of plug words in. I'm not I talk to a lot of my friends who are really good songwriters, and they're like, yeah, I write all the time, all sorts of stuff, and then I just kind of like pick and choose good bits from that. I'm like, that's brilliant. I wish I worked like that. So I'm going to maybe try that angle, but mostly I just make up gibberish and then fit the pieces together. I hope that's a good answer.
That's a great answer right there. Hey, Nick, this is Mike Venata.
Do we still have our
Rod?
Rod?
How you doing, brother?
Hello, Rod.
Can you hear me?
Do we have a Rod?
Turn on Rod right now.
Calling all Rods.
Keep asking questions.
Am I
Can
the
you hear me,
one
Nick?
that's off? I don't know. Willie, are you there?
No, you're on, brother.
Okay. Well, maybe until we get our Rod back, we can talk.
Nick,
I don't think
what
you should
about
change
your
your
art?
songwriting process.
Okay,
So
good.
that's another
Just do the
question
gibberish
from our
thing.
audience.
Well, how do you do it?
The opposite in that there's like a floater for like 6 months to 2 years, like a verse floating. And I've done gibberish for fun, and it works about as well. Works about as well for me.
Damn. What about you, Esther? I see you there.
Yeah, Nikki, you got your own thing, man. I love it. So everybody's different, and you got it going on.
Well, thanks. I feel the same way about you. I'm a big fan of what we all do.
Get a room, you guys. Well, wait, that begs the question. Have the three of you ever shared a stage before? Are you old partners sharing the stage and opening for each other and stuff?
Well, Esther and I fairly often are either kind of in bands that are on the same stage, or we share. The New Orleans scene has just everybody like playing musical chairs and bands, and me and Willie have been playing music in some capacity since I guess like 2011 or 12 or something like that. But we played like slide guitar, screw around stuff in my parents' living room when I was like still drinking more beer than any person should, and like. And Esther and I have mostly shared a stage when I haven't ever drank in public. So it's funny to be like on the polar ends of my life, basically, or 20s, you might say. But yeah, it's cool to see both of y'all because you're from different parts of my life. But I don't think we've ever been in the same building playing music together. No,
we have been, believe it or not.
What?
It was a campfire when I was visiting New Orleans because I was doing puppet shows at the Mudlark. And I didn't ever actually see you, Esther, but I knew your songs already, and I didn't want to come up to you and be like, I've been listening to you on the internet for so long now.
Oh my God. Well, now we get to officially meet on the internet, so I guess it all worked out.
It's good. Yes, it's good.
But the campfire, I didn't realize that. Don't be so shy, Willie.
I will try.
Who's
Who's
next?
next?
Yes, I'm not going to sing or play or anything like that, because I have absolutely no talent. I have no responsibilities here. I'm just a pretty face. So that you folks out there, you just heard Nick Shoulders. Nick, are you any relation to Jim Shoulders, the rodeo star from the '60s?
He's a rodeo legend. Not many people know that, but yeah, I'm some distant relative of Jim Shoulders. My dad always told me when I was young, he's like, that's going to get you somewhere someday. Someone's going to recognize that name. And one time in the Walgreens checkout line in Fayetteville, this lady was like, are you kin to Jim Shoulders? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, oh, that's great. I used to watch him ride when I was a little kid. And I think she gave me like 60 cents off of that purchase. So if there's any time that it was going to come in handy, it was with the lady at Walgreens.
Far out. I think we have. Do we have your Venmo number up there now, or folks? If you enjoyed what Nick put out, and you want to shoot him a few bucks, this is the time and the place to do it. And I liked it. I'm going to throw in a shekel or two for him because he's that old school sort of cowboy singer that I listened to on the radio in my dad's pickup growing up in Rawlins, Wyoming in the 50s. So be generous towards Nick because he worked his butt off for you here, even if he's wearing gym shorts.
They send me some raid. I need to kill these hornets. There are a lot of them. And I'll be at this cabin for the next few weeks because I'm in the middle of really nowhere, Arkansas. I'm out in the sticks. So I appreciate y'all so much, though, and thanks for listening and tuning in. This is a surreal medium to be doing this on, but seriously, my gratitude is depthless. I can't imagine being stuck up here without having music to turn to. So thanks so much, y'all.
Esther, we are on you now as we speak, sister. So let's see what you got.
All right, let's do this. I've been thinking about dedicating this song to everyone that is taking this Corona time to work on their house. I know there's a lot of people that are taking care of projects that they've been neglecting and doing some nesting time. So this song is for y'all. It's called Handyman. Takes a little elbow grease and some spit shine. Gonna take a little more than that to fix this heart of mine. You're a handyman, you got the tools to make it so my heart don't ache and I ain't nobody's fool. You measure twice before you make the cut. Sharpen up the knife so it won't hurt too much. You're a handyman, you learned your trade. To make it so my heart don't ache, make it strong and afraid. And I hope you change your mind. Ooh, try, and I hope you change my mind. Won't you try? And I hope you change your mind. Ooh, try. And I hope you change my mind. Won't you try? A rock came tumbling down the mountainside. Now we got in the river and we went down 7 times. We held on tight as the current dragged us down. Just me and you and the river and no one else around. What about the time outside the VFW hall? You swore your love for me was different from them all. And we danced real close, and I held on tight. Pretty people on the dance floor swayed, and the band played into the night. Now you change your mind. Ooh, try, and I hope you change my mind. Won't you try, and I hope you change your mind. Ooh, try, and I hope you change my mind. Won't you try? It's so funny looking at the little cubes down there, you guys. I love it. Oh. What a strange way to connect. I guess I'll keep going. This I made a little list of requests from today, and strangely, y'all wanted to hear Friend or Foe, which I love that. I love this song. I don't play it that often, so thanks for that inspiration. Are you friend or foe? See, I really gotta know. Friend, I'll meet you at the river bend. Foe must walk down that road alone. Stars are burning, stars they fall. Stars aren't even stars at all. In the city, in the street. Going to the place we used to meet. Baby, you smoke yours, I'll smoke mine. In my heart, there's no denying it's your company that I keep. At the bend where the water runs deep, back to the city where the rain falls hard. You'll be strumming on your old guitar. You won't be found if you ain't lost. But I found my baby in Holy Cross. I think I found a brand new day. Now I'm really on my way. Friend or foe, tell me straight. We'll be walking to the pearly gates. Canyon deep, mountain wide, you and me, baby, side by side. Desert sky and the air so clear. We are far from the city out here. The river's got rhythm and it sings aloud. Hear it calling out its river sound. Light and flash and I feel the fire. I am searching for my soul's desire. I am ready for my soul's desire. I think I found a brand new day. Now I'm really on my way. Friend or foe, tell me straight. We'll be dancing through the pearly gates. Now I remember why I don't wear glasses when I perform, because they always slide down. All right, I'm gonna do another one. This is a new one. Well, it's from my last record, and here we go. You guys doing okay? Can I see a thumbs up, or it's all good? All right, great. Do what you wanna do, it's alright, up to you. Say what you're gonna say, it's alright, I'm okay. I ain't afraid of love, it's alright, it's enough. I ain't afraid of pain, it's alright, what's her name? You know I'm always changing. Can't you see me changing? Now my whole world's changing. Said, can't you feel me changing? He said it's been so long since he looked at the stars. He said it's been so long since he held her in his arms. I guess we will find out that we don't know a thing. Let's have another round and baby fill mine to the brim, because he's always changing. Can't you see he's changing? Now his whole world's changing. Said, can't you feel he's changing? Look at all the lovers kissing in the street. When they go back home, where we never see, do they take good care, or do they cause a scene? I guess we'll never know. I guess we must believe that they're always changing. Can't you see they're changing? Now their whole world's changing. I wanna know they're changing. I wanna know they're changing. Cool. I wish I could see everyone that's listening and watching right now. I'm just gonna imagine everyone has a huge bowl of popcorn and you're just like in your sweatpants and like really just like feeling okay.
Well,
If you could see us, Esther, you would see us blowing snot bubbles because those songs are so pretty.
I can see you. I was addressing like the YouTube people that are like at their home.
They are.
What is your songwriting process? Those songs are so lyrically strong. Do you get the lyrics first in like a poem or a narrative and then put music around it, or how does it happen for you?
How does it happen? It's the most special feeling in the world. That's why I love this journey with songs, because every time it's so different. Friend or Foe was a song that came all at once with the melody and the words. It's just a totally interactive format with music and lyrics, and it's just like just be ready to be surprised, I think, like, and be ready. The number one thing that I do is just try to be open to the idea that I might write a song at any moment. And like that's like staying open to like your creativity no matter what you're doing.
Do you believe in muses?
Do you have a muse?
Do I believe in music? Do I have a muse?
No, muses. Do you have a muse?
Oh, not right now. Well, I mean, kind of. I don't know. Are you asking for yourself or for a friend?
No, no, for you, for you. part, part of. Well, and Mike wanted to ask a question that I'm not going to ask of you, but what I want to do is explore with all three of you the creative process, what it takes for you to catch a song out of the ethers, put it together, and then get it to a point where you're going to go out and perform it in front of people.
Well, I never really think about the performance part when I'm writing. I think that if I thought about that, I wouldn't want to write. Whenever I write, it's for myself and for the friends that I immediately send it to in a voice as a voice demo to kind of like be connected. Like some of my friends are really great at telling stories and making me laugh. Like some people want to cook for you. Like everyone has their different way of like sharing who they are and what they're thinking about. For me, like I just want to write and sing it, and I am kind of bad at staying in touch in other ways.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair. Are you New Orleans native?
No, I was born in Michigan. I was born in Detroit, and then I lived on a farm in Columbiaville. I grew up on a farm, and now the farm is gone, and none of my family lives in Michigan anymore. So I'm kind of just like a person of the world.
Were you musical back then?
Back then, yeah, I have a few sisters, and we would sing together, 3-part harmonies. That's kind of how it started, I think.
The info that I guess we got from your publicist or something, it was praised your music and said you and your sister drove to like a bleak old school together.
And we've all been.
That's like referencing one of the songs that I wrote. But my family, my mom would write little songs and sing them for us. I think it was just kind of like, I knew from an early age that you could just write a song, like you could just do it and it's not a big deal. Like, and I think that like childish like naivety is like really important for creative people to like just feel like at any moment you can just do it. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, and all the heartbreaks in life haven't driven that out of you. You still have that.
Yeah, not yet, Rod, but they're trying.
Folks, listen at home. That is Esther Rose from New Orleans, Louisiana. Exceedingly soulful work. Good singer-songwriter stuff. And again, if you appreciate what you're hearing here this afternoon on Wyoming is Fuck's Cabin Fever series of bringing music to you in the middle of a plague, please contribute to these folks. It's going to show your appreciation to them. And the thought came to me. I was sitting here doing this, and when you're doing a live music, Facebook Live or something like that, it turns the entire universe into one giant tip jar. So go ahead and toss some stuff into that tip jar and help these folks out. Thanks so much, Esther. Willie, you still around?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here.
All right, you're up.
I watched one of Willie's videos before I agreed with Mike to do this thing, and it's like he's sitting in a Masonic temple chair with spoons in his hands and thumping on the floor and just doing music that came down from the mountain yesterday. And I just dug the hell out of it. So we're going to give you about 3 songs here to show us what you can do. All right.
Very fine.
Willie
Carlisle, ladies and gentlemen. Willie Carlisle.
Well, folks, thank you very much, and thank you to Ruben. It's truly a pleasure to be here in the latter days of a godforsaken Babylon. I'm a really big fan of Nick and Esther, so it's a great pleasure to be here. I'm going to start off. I want to echo everything that they said about the creative process and having reasons to write songs. I wrote this one as a tribute to my drunk uncle. And after he passed away, I took a bunch of crazy things that he said and made them into a song. So Nick started off with a patter song, and so I wanted to start off with one. This is called Boy Howdy Hot Dog. Them coals are turning bright red, firewood's in the truck bed, river's running low this time of year. Ragweed's on the turnpike, bedrooms mostly Christmas lights. Sorry friend, I don't lend tools. Boy had a hot dog, pretty good life, pretty little house, pretty big wife. Lets me fry her pork chop twice a week. And that is a euphemism for those of you listening out there in the YouTube world. Well, hot plate, baby went and made a cake. I never seen a heaven that did not have a snake. Well, hot plate, baby went and made a cake. I never seen a heaven that did not have a snake. The Blue Jay's a mean-ass bird, ugliest song you've ever heard. Get off my porch, I'll kick your ass. Everything she does is magic. I'll watch her catch a lizard. Careful or his tail will come right off. Boy had a hot dog, pretty good life, pretty little house, pretty big wife. Lets me fry her catfish twice a week. Just another euphemism, very similar to the first one that I deployed. Well, Swamp Rose, Sweat Stain, get money, make it rain, cold beer, tin can, Cadillac Mustang. Well, Swamp Rose, Sweat Stain, get money, make it rain, cold beer, tin can, Cadillac, or Mustang. Adiole, yoli-lole, yole. Donate to the tip jar so that I can get a yodeling lesson from Nick's Shoulders. That's what I want for Christmas, folks. Goddamn, while we go to hell, this bar's mostly peanut shells. If you drive, we can play pool. Hot pocket, sweet potato pie, Saturday, Sunday rolling by. Take off your pants, let's watch TV. Boy, I had a hot dog, pretty good life. I got a pretty little house, pretty big wife. I can't recall my ex-wife's name. But the love you lost is right where you left it. All right, gone forever, boy, fuck it, forget it. Yes, the love you lost is right where you left it. All right, gone forever, boy, fuck it. Crack a beer, forget it. The doctor asked me where it hurts. Born to fish, forced to work. Take off your plants, let's watch TV. Hot pocket, sweet potato pie, Saturday, Sunday rolling by. Take off your pants, let's watch TV. There it is. Boy, howdy, hot dog. All right, well, I'm a folk singer, so I do end up doing folk songs. So I know Esther and Nick did originals, but I've been having a couple of these old folk songs just running around in my head in a really big way, and so I want to do an old hymn that I learned from the singing of Sarah Organ Gunning, this great protest singer from Kentucky. She sang this hymn in the 1930s, around the time that the government was dropping bombs on protesters and stuff like that. I want to do this song for all the people doing rent strikes and stuff like that in this time of kind of crisis. Make sure I'm out of tune here. All right, this is called My Warfare Will Soon Be Ended. Well, my warfare will soon be ended. My race is almost run. My warfare will soon be ended. And then I'm going home. Jesus Christ was a wayward traveler. He went from door to door. His occupation mainly was administering to the poor. And they call my God a demon. They call his saints the same. But when I shout amen, I want you to say his name. 'Cause my warfare will soon be ended. My race is almost run. My warfare will soon be ended. And then I'm going home. You can rebuke me all you want to. I'm traveling to my Lord. I'm well acquainted with the gospel. I'm well acquainted with the Lord. And my warfare will soon be ended. My race is almost run. My warfare will soon be ended. And then I'm going home. And then I'm going home. And then I'm going home. Thank you very much. I can hear all the applause from here, right? The crowd goes, wow. Oh man, I was telling Nick over the Instapoop that it's not extremely we're in this business to make real connections with real people. So I do hope that you'll go onto the comments and say hello or something like that, just to add a human element to the fact that we're all kind of sitting back here by our lonesomes, putting pants on only if we feel like it in the morning. So because of that, I thought I would take a risk and do a song I almost never get to do, one I inherited from a cowboy singer friend of mine, a guy named Steve Cormier. He's the New Mexico State cowboy singer. And he wrote this really beautiful song that I'm going to play here on the button accordion. It's about a migrant worker in the 1930s. This was kind of setting his this migrant worker's testimony to music, was the way this song got written. So this is called Todo Paso in Este Mundo, where everything passes in the world. When I was a niño in Agua Fria, we had all the water we need, and the willows grew on the Rio, from the Cienega down to the Santa Fe. And I tended my padre's cattle, from the Cienega to the Arroyo long ago. For a month I slept on the saddle, oh, my hair like a wild buffalo. El Indio Antonio Dominguez played a sweet violin long ago for the dancers Loved to be home when the mills were turning. Everyone brought in their cane, and the pacifiers were burning. Oh, and the children played among the beams. Those were the best of the good times, memories my spirit must hold. As the surf boiled out, we danced about, and marvelous stories were told. El Indio, Antonio Dominguez played a sweet violin long ago for the dancers from all of the ranches. Todo pasó en este mundo, todo pasó en este mundo. When I was young, we had all the water we'd need. Now the water companies take it away. And now we grow our corn in our fields just by the grace of God's green. I know God knows what he's doing, that everything must come and it must go. I'll live and I'll die under this same sky. Todo paso en este mundo. El Indio, Antonio Dominguez played a sweet violin long ago for the dancers from all of the ranches. Todo pasó en este mundo. Todo pasó en este mundo. Todo pasó en este mundo. There it is.
That was incredible. You old son, you have kind of an appreciation of the social commentary power of American music, don't you?
Oh, anybody that really likes folk and country music, there's somebody who you really like who was a seriously that was a fucked up person, but maybe like made beautiful music or something. I think that like country music and rural music is a really, especially like vernacular music is an incredible paradigm with which to make social commentary. Absolutely, yeah, really.
That was fantastic stuff. Now, where are you from? Are you from the Ozarks to begin with?
I was born and raised in just south of Wichita, Kansas, and I moved out to Illinois for a little while. Just lived on the prairies in small towns out there, and then I moved to the Ozarks, I think 10 years ago now, and promptly fell in love with the traditional music. Started calling square dances and stuff like that. That was where Nick and I played dirt ball folk music. We played, and we were both just leaving punk music and finding country music kind of at the same time. I think it was inevitable that we've gotten to where we're at, but it was definitely, we were still definitely playing more punk music than folk music, I think, at the time.
And you haven't let the two morph together yet, have you?
I think punk rock is an attitude. It is not merely a hat.
Yeah.
Dwight Yoakam.
Agree with you. So here we are in the middle of some really unprecedented times in our country, and we're at the point where we have to sit in a studio and electronically connect with you guys, with entertainers, with singers or songwriters, who normally we would be out at a bar, listening to. and that sense of isolation, I think, is getting to people, and that's part of why Cabin Fever is doing this is to connect with people again. But and I'm going to throw this question out to all three of you, to you and Esther and Nick. What's going on in your lives, and what are you doing musically, or socially, or politically, that you want to take to the street on the flip side of this, when it's all over and done, and we're in whatever kind of situation we are? What are you doing now that you want to present to the world then?
Well, I know I'm going to make a new record while I'm in here. And I know that everybody's got some sort of project that they're working on. And I think that it seems to me that the world's going to like explode with creativity when all this is done. But I also really hope that that this time we are able to kind of fall back in love with the little things in our lives. And that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to love the people that I love better, despite, getting to know their little foibles a little better, and try to make some beautiful art out of the wonderful people that I've gotten to talk to and spend time with.
Excellent.
Either Esther or Nick, any thoughts? You want to jump in?
Holler, Esther.
It's hard to jump in, but hi. Yeah, I love what you said, Willie. I am trying to use this time to kind of like feel like reassess like what I need to be okay, and really streamlining that when it comes to consumer type stuff, and like just like personal well-being, and like try to like work with less, and that feels really good to step into that, because I think that it's like a necessity, and it's just a really great life skill. And so yeah, just like seeing like what you can do without and what's really important.
Love that.
And like it's always very important. It never is going to go away.
Well, Esther, I know you and I don't know if you split from New Orleans for the same reasons I did, but I feel like a very fortunate, privileged kind of refugee to not be in New Orleans right now. It's got an incredible infection rate per capita. Things are getting weird. I'm talking to people who are talking about just, bands of hungry people roaming the quarter. Like it's really highlights for me the fragility of these systems that we build these little sandcastles on, and the fact that I'm in a county in the middle of the Boston Mountains of Arkansas that is 3/4 national forest, and I haven't felt safer, more secure, or more hopeful about my ability to feed myself and be sustained. But I think for me, a big lesson I'm learning is that we've created a just preposterously fragile network of systems that are all propped up essentially by predatory greed and self-serving behavior, and watching it all sort of come out at the seams really highlights for me my personal and community-based desire to be more self-sufficient in all the ways. Like we've kind of touched on it lightly, I think, each of us, but not being so dependent on these systems that are obviously engineered to fail. These cities and the way we've set up our country in terms of how we punish poor people has been engineered to fail. And when you keep people poor, dangerous things happen. And this is really highlighting for me inequity that just can't be tolerated anymore.
Interesting stuff. I agreed to do this thing with Ruben and Mike because all three of us hate people and we love Everclear, so we're just happy as clams sitting up here drinking and staying away from people. But it's nice to hear from you guys. It's nice to hear music again. And I don't know, I'm not going to editorialize. I have no idea what's going to be on the other end of this thing. I think we just need to be ready for it. So again, those of you listening, please try and contribute financially to Willie and Esther and Nick as they they bring their stuff to you the only way that they can right now, which is remotely. So let's reward them remotely as well. I'm going to prevail on the three of you to do one final song apiece. Let's go in reverse order. Let's start with Willie, and that'll give Esther and Nick time to come up with the song because we didn't spring this on you. But Willie, can you play us one more, and then we'll go to the other two, and then wind it up? Thanks, buddy.
For sure. Yeah. I wish I had my feed up. I don't know if there were any requests, but I'm just going to play Angels, which is Mike and the Western as Fuck crowd recorded a little while ago. I want to echo what Nick said a little bit too, that here's an opportunity for us to become more self-sufficient as individuals, but also to take actions in our community that are hopefully going to have some real effects and prevent this sort of stuff in the future. At the very least, voting, if not getting in contact with your neighbors about how they intend to pay rent or if they intend to pay rent and stuff like that, is something that's definitely on my mind today. And also those ideas about self-sufficiency and trying to choose something different. To me, that's why country and folk music. Period. So anyway, here's a song about my feelings. Well, I was born on the wide prairie, with its wheat so wild and strong. Well, I left my home when I turned 21. Still don't know if I was wrong. 'Cause I know a girl down in southern Illinois has me tangled up like kudzu vines. One good look at her shining smile can tell she'd never be mine. And to tell you the truth, I miss all the laughs of loving one another like sociopaths. So I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. If I was a bird, I would tear up my throat, throwing songs across telephone wires. If I was a dog, I would rattle my chains, let my handlers decide how I live, how I die. Howl at the wind and bite my own tail, piss on the grass so they'd know who I was. Ask me why, I'll leave a dying trace. It's either for fear or maybe because. Well, to tell you the truth, friends, I can't go free. I need the master's leash more than it needs me. So I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. And I know that I arrive there maybe once or twice each year when I'm singing with my friends before we leave. I know that I love you and I know that we're dying. Why the fuck should that be what we alternatingly believe? What makes one feel holy makes another feel broke. Like I'm mostly my hat, like I'm mostly my code. Not lovers will lie is one thing you can trust. What we ain't said might still save us. All the ashes if you be dust. And to tell you the truth, I know God's here still, in a sweet loving westland over the hill, where I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for angels to carry me back home. Thanks, friends.
Got it. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
How's it going, everyone? This is Mike Venata, producer here. How you doing, Esther? And Nick and Willie. Rod Miller decided to go use the commode, so now I have to do this. Oh, look, he's back. Why don't you come sit on my lap, Rod? No, sit on my lap. Who should we have next, Rod? Should we have Esther or should we have Nick go?
Let's go in reverse order. Let's have Esther sing one.
Okay.
And then Nick can sing one.
Alrighty, cool. Esther, what are you going to play for us?
I had so many on my list, and looks like we're not going to get to them. But I was going to sing Don't Blame It on the Moon and send that out to Portugal and Lisbon and everyone that's watching from there, if they are. But I'd rather do a new song, and I think that everyone will maybe relate to this one more. It's not so much about heartache. It's mostly about being a loner, which is what we're all doing right now. So this song is called Are You Out There? And it's still dedicated to Portugal. All right. Sitting home alone on New Year's Eve. Boom, boom. Fireworks exploding. There is no one that I long to kiss but you. Know what I'm doing. Now you're out there. You're out there. Are you out there? You out there? Love was just a silly game we used to play. Who knew? Were you pretending? But I really lost my shit. You know I fell for you. It's never ending. Now you're out there. You're out there. Ooh. Are you out there? You out there? Ooh. Sitting home alone on Saturday night. My candle burning. Light a candle for each time I ever dreamed on you. Oh, how I'm yearning. Now you're out there. You're out there. Ooh. Are you out there? You out there, ooh.
Thank you for doing it.
You know, we can still do this and just personally. Doesn't have to be goodbye.
We can Google Hangout any old damn time.
I guess we can.
Here's the deal with you New Orleans musicians that kids up in the Rocky Mountains have come to believe. You only come up to this part of the world and play when it's too hot down in NOLA and you're getting away from mosquitoes or something like that. That's when we see the southern bands come up here to Wyoming, Colorado and play. So when the dust clears, you guys should stay in touch with us. Let's see if we can find a venue where all three of you can be on stage together. I think it would work great. I'd love to shake and howdy with you personally.
That's a two-way street, Rod.
When the time comes to shake and howdy, yeah. When Nick graduates with the Newton County Institute of Technology.
Yeah, y'all are gonna have to blame the quality of my feed on the mountain.
It looks good. Looks good.
Nick, you got one
Last song?
Oh, bet your ass. Yeah, you know, I thought I'm with Esther. I had a bunch I wanted to sing, and I'm looking, you can't tell, but I'm looking out at this endless sea of hills, the land of snakes and waterfalls. You know, I want to get to do the song where I get to talk about, you know, my grandparents and great-grandparents singing and playing fiddles and all that dumb stuff, but I think I should keep it topical, and I kind of got off on a tear last bit about systems and bad things, and I want to reiterate what Willie said, which is that we got each other, even if you know, we're obviously many thousands of miles apart. We really ought to be trying to forge a new kind of community, because the other one just isn't hacking it, obviously. So I think we should rely on each other, and you're not really going to get much from above, whatever way you want to spin it. So I figure I'll dedicate this one to our favorite. I am so weary. Oh shoot! I am so weary. I'm as glum as I can be. All y'all have lost it. I meet your madness with pity. I don't blame you for being scared, but it's the wrong direction that your teeth are bared. We're fully busted. We know the ship is run aground. The things you trust in, they burned the farm and moved to town. And though I might eat all of my steaks rare, I never sold my soul to a billionaire. I keep the door open for you. Bound and determined, no, you can't lie to me. Oh, bound and determined, no, to ruin everything. You say your country, you lay a claim unto the soil. If you were country, you'd save your land from being spoiled. Do you drink water? Do you breathe air? I think if you were really country, you would fucking care. I'd be just like you if I were fed the things you're fed. I'm just as frightened. We're off the rails, we're in the red. You got opinions, but your proof it lacks. And only one of us is dealing in alternative facts. I keep the door open for you. Bound and determined, no, you can't lie to me. Oh, bound and determined, oh, to ruin everything. Do you love freedom or security and dreams? Is life worth living if there's lead in the last stream? To a glutton, what's allegiance worth? If the meek like me are to inherit the earth, it's not oppression to ask for basic decency. You'll learn your lesson while you're repeating history. And if the song gets me shot, at least my voice, it wasn't silent. You'll forget me not. I keep the you. Bound and determined, oh, you can't lie to me. Oh, bound and determined, oh, to ruin everything. You ruin everything. You ruin everything. We'll ruin everything.
Thanks, Nick. That's great. All three of you guys have just done marvelous work here for all the people out there who are can't go out to the bars or go to a club to hear music. Thank you for bringing it to them, and I hope all the people out there appreciate it and contribute to you guys. Follow your music on, I don't know if you have individual websites or follow you on YouTube, but for sure kick in some money on your Venmo and PayPal, something like that. On behalf of Mike Venata and Ruben Buchanan and myself, I'd like to thank all three of you for coming on the show tonight. And folks, tune in again next week. Cabin Fever and Gems of VHS and Wyoming as Fuck will present another live stream with as yet to be announced artists. So Nick, Esther, Willie, thank you guys so much. I found some new people to follow today, and that means a lot to me. So with that said, we're going to sign off now. Remember to all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
And you out there listening, remember to wash your hands, stay 6 feet apart, and don't touch my face.
What? No.
No, Mike, I said it right.
Don't touch my face.
I'm not going to touch your face. No, that would make me feel really unclean, bud. No.
All right. Yeah, there it is.